In this episode,
we're on the YouTube and the Facebook and the Twitter and the Instagram.
And
that's it.
The Fantasy Football Show.
Hello listeners, welcome back to episode 44 of Planet #FPL, the world where everything revolves around Fantasy Premier League. My name is Suj.
And my name is James.
And today we can say hello listeners and hello viewers.
Yes, different setup for us. I believe we're being filmed, mate.
The camera's just there, but I can't really look at the camera. I want to look at you.
No, it's making me nervous.
Because you're wearing a very fetching Planet FPL t-shirt.
As are you, sir.
So if you are listening on iTunes or SoundCloud, do head over to the YouTube, this thing that they've got these days called the YouTube. James and I are matching. Brown shoes, blue jeans, white t-shirt.
Because if it wasn't bad enough listening to us, you can see us now as well.
And Game Week 25 has finally wrapped up. Yesterday we had the Everton City game, and it is a couple of days until Game Week 26, after which there is an FA Cup break. And we're going to have a quick 45-minute podcast to wrap up, finish off anything we didn't in the last show, and have a little look forward to Game Week 26, and also address any new questions that may have come up on Twitter. But where should we start?
Well, you know where to start.
Where should we start?
Leroy Sane. Have you booked the psychologist yet or not?
Like, I'm not. I'm not distraught to
you sound it
extent that, but it is pretty funny.
Do you know what?
Like, you couldn't have written it.
No.
What could have been the worst thing for a Leroy Sane owner? Because if he'd have been benched and didn't play the whole game, you know what you're getting. But for him to be on the team sheet, you then have that anticipation, and then 30 minutes, 40 minutes, no goals, and you're thinking, what's going to happen here? And then to get hauled off at 59, it's like building your hopes up and then killing them all at once.
When I laugh, I don't mean to laugh particularly at you,
no, of course,
or anybody else, or the 26,000 that did triple captain him. But you can't do anything but laugh.
Yeah, 59 minutes, that's really funny.
It's the insult, the complete kick in the teeth. It couldn't have been worse.
No.
Do you remember last year you triple captained Harry Kane, mate, in the double game week?
But he didn't play away at Swansea.
Them 9 points look unbelievable now.
Yeah, I mean, 3 from your triple captain's really hilarious in a double game week.
Let's take some to it,
Even
mate.
people that are going to triple captain in a single game week will probably end up with more points.
You would struggle to do it if you tried.
Yeah, exactly.
Your guy who captained Lucas Dean, who's number 2 in the world, I mean, at least he got 2. Did he get 2 points for him? I think,
captained
or 1 point.
Lucas Dean?
Yeah. Yeah, did you not know about this?
I haven't seen that.
So the guy who was ranked number, I don't know his rank now, but number 3 in the world before the weekend captains Lucas Dean.
Right.
I think he thought he was being clever potentially, assuming he was going to be suspended for both games and thinking he was getting the captaincy on his vice. Just shows, right?
Yeah, I mean, I dropped from 330 or 340 something to 520. I was expecting a bigger slap in the face. My game week rank was 4.4 million or something. Honestly, I was expecting a bigger slap in the face. To be around 500,000 after that game week, I'm not too disappointed. I've lost a good 30 to 50 points in a couple of my mini leagues, and that is particularly disappointing. There's plenty of people 80 points north. So the game week average was 65, which is insanely high.
I thought it would end up higher.
Insanely high. And I ended up with 52. So there you go. I didn't get any additional returns. What did you finish on?
82.
So that's pretty decent. Where are you up to?
Eden Hazard captaincy. So I went up 7,000 for the game week.
So 15k or something now?
No, 30,000.
Oh, 30k.
I was 37,000 before the week.
Hard life, being up there at 30k.
I'm so delighted with that to come through. Most people will know my gamble that I didn't have any City players.
Yeah.
So
man,
absolutely sorry.
City, I don't know, man. A 1-0 win yesterday.
2-0, mate.
2-0 was it?
Or did you just give up when Sané
Honestly, I was actually at work in this very room, if you're watching, until I left here about 9:30 yesterday, 9:15, which is Sane came off, and that was when I literally was like, computer's going off, I'm done, I'm getting home. And I didn't even know it was 2-0. That's how bad it was. I was done. I'm not distraught. You know, it's that thing with your parents. I'm not angry.
I'm disappointed.
That's exactly how I feel about Leroy Sane. On top of that, then a few people have tagged me in on the old Twitter. Not many. And if you do tag me in on Twitter, just know that you won't get a response for 3 or 4 days, because I'm a sporadic Twitterer. Saying, "Oh, I can't believe it. I'm never going to follow your advice." Well, if you did in the first place, you deserve everything you're going to get.
I've seen a few people saying, Sujan Shah, you owe me this, you owe me that.
Listen, nothing,
if you can't think for yourselves, do one, is my advice to that.
And hindsight's a wonderful thing. Listen, there's plenty of weeks. A lot of people have got Mo Salah against Huddersfield at home as triple captain potential. You're looking a little bit later than that.
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing with the chip yet.
So triple captain just as easily could blank in a single game week. Just, it is what it is.
Of course it could. Those who went on Aguero, well done. Those who went on Sterling, well done. But otherwise, you've missed it, really. I think 13 of the top 1,000 captain, not triple captain, but captain Laporte.
Wow.
Who actually ended up being the top scoring player of the week, one more than Aguero.
Yeah.
I've seen a few teams that had Laporte, Sterling and Aguero. That's banging.
I did have Laporte and Aguero earlier in the season. I don't have any of them now, which doesn't really help at all. I don't know. There's nothing else to make of it, is there? You move on to your next game week straight on.
That's it. I think you're best off treating it as the least valuable chip. That's how I feel about it. Those who've captained Aguero probably won't feel that way.
Was least valuable this week? Tell me.
No, but then look, I so easily could have followed your path. As I said, Hazard to Sane was a move that I considered. Obviously, captain Hazard. Yeah. I wouldn't have triple captained Leroy Sane. I think if there's a potential learning out of it, in a double game week, you want the guy you feel most confident that's going to get you goals. And I think from the midfielders, there's only 4 names you could really consider for that chip in hindsight. One of which is Sterling. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Hazard, Salah. And because of form at the moment, I think you could, although he's valued less, you could consider Son
I would agree
at the moment if you have the right set of double.
I mean, rewind it a little bit. Before you pick someone who you think is going to score, you want to pick someone who's going to play. And
yeah, but there's no way you could have known that was going to happen.
No, you couldn't. But of all the clubs, who rotates the most up front? It's City, as a rule. In an ideal world, if you'd said to me at the start of the season, who do you want to play your triple captain chip on and when, I would have said Harry Kane double game week. Yeah. Because he plays without fail. So for me, he's the one that's consistent. Or Mo Salah. But you're right, midfielders are less consistent from a goal scoring point of view than forwards.
That's why I say those 4 names.
A forward for me, and Harry Kane would be the one, because I know he's going to play week in, week out. Or Aubameyang, one of the two. But you know what? Hindsight being a wonderful thing. And literally, what else can you do but move on? Because this game is relentless at the speed at which now you need to, this part of the season, you need to think about what's happening then next. I was really tempted last night to rage transfer Leroy Sane out, just for shits and giggles, because I'm at that point now where I'm like, well, what is it, 12, 13 game weeks, may as well have a bit of fun. But I didn't do it. I've kept my powder dry. We're about to go into game week 26. We'll have a quick look at some of the fixtures, but I didn't want to make a transfer into game week 26. I want to carry it, so I've got 2 for a decision to be made after the FA Cup games. So I can't rage transfer Leroy Sane out.
That's kind of answered my next question, because I think we'll want to know what to do with particularly Leroy Sane now.
Keep the guy for now. I've built up some value in him.
Do you think he'll start Sunday? The numbers suggest that he won't.
No, but I've got to think long term rather than short term. So I don't know, is the honest answer.
I don't think there's any particular learnings on Everton City last night, and we don't want to talk about it in detail because, as we've said, we don't think anybody's particularly looking to invest in either club ahead of this game week, with them having the blank afterwards. That would be a little strange if you're buying Everton or Man City players this weekend now. So the only real learning was what Guardiola said about Bernardo Silva. which we didn't cover on the last pod, but him saying that at the moment, the quote that he said was, at the moment, it's Bernardo and 10 other players.
Really?
Yeah. And Bernardo's position in the 2 games is sort of the wideish right floater of the front 3.
Yeah.
Means that then it's one more from Sterling, Sane and Mahrez.
Yeah.
Mahrez is not getting a look in.
No.
So you assume with Sterling not starting last night, he starts
He's
against
gonna
Chelsea at the
rotate back
weekend.
in.
And therefore Sane at the moment, if that's true about Bernardo, then Sane is not starting Sunday.
If you are a Sane owner and you move to Bernardo, I mean, that's a couple of million in the bank to make a move elsewhere. Someone like me, for example, Sane to Bernardo Silva will then mean Callum Wilson or Josh King now could be manoeuvred into Higuain, for example.
I don't think that's a move you should consider.
Not this week,
Yeah.
but post game week
Possibly.
27. To upgrade one of my strikers to a 9.5 million striker, potentially. So interesting. And if Bernardo Silva's playing week in, week out, definitely one to consider. You're not making any moves.
But no
either.
attacking. It's worth saying no attacking returns for Bernardo Silva in those 2 games, right?
No.
So not made a lot of difference there.
No.
He's not going to post the numbers that a Sterling or Sane, if he's going to play regularly, would post.
No.
But he's priced appropriately considering that, I think.
Yeah. Have you set your team up for the weekend?
Yeah, it's set, but I haven't decided yet on. I obviously went Hazard to Son Saturday night. I got back 3.7 sitting in the bank. 90% I'm going Firmino to Aubameyang, as I said on Tuesday, but I'm not 100% decided yet.
You'll be carrying only one transfer in after the FA Cup.
Correct. And the danger with doing that is I'm almost definitely selling Richarlison for 27 as he blanks and his price is going to nosedive, which if I pick up an injury somewhere else
leaves you a bit exposed.
A little bit, yeah, because you know me, I'm not a fan of taking the hits. So I might even consider one now, possibly. I haven't fully decided what I'm doing, but I think I'll probably just add the Aubameyang in place of Firmino. I do want that Arsenal attacking coverage for the next 3.
Right. Can you run down your team, or you don't have it?
Yeah, it's there.
I've got mine right here.
I know it. The decision-wise, team news. So I mean, Fabianski in goal. I'll go Robertson, Trippier. I don't know if he'll start, but I'm going to do that. And then the choice for me is whether I'd play David Luiz or Johnny. Now, Johnny seems the obvious one at home to Newcastle, while David Luiz goes to City. But I've been burnt quite a few times by leaving premium top 6 defenders out against other top 6. Not decided yet, but one or the other. I think I probably will go Johnny because it is Man City away. Salah, Jota, Pogba, Hazard, Richarlison, Rashford, and then I'll presume at the moment it will probably be Aubameyang in as Firmino, and I'll leave Wan-Bissaka as first or second sub.
Yeah. I've got McCarthy in goal at the moment. Cardiff at home. It's with all of the clubs around the bottom half. You don't know whether you're coming or going. Cardiff winning last week, but they could just as easily lose this week. But McCarthy at home. I'm going to need to address my keeper situation after that. Robertson and Shaw. Robertson home to Bournemouth, Fulham away for Shaw. And I have gone Doherty over Alonso at the moment, which begs the question, should I even bother keeping Alonso? Because if I'm not playing him this week and he's got a blank the week after, 6.5 million tied up in the defenders, just 2 game weeks worth of waste. So there may be some thoughts in my mind around that once I get over Leroy Sane.
Your Alonso situation's different to my David Luiz because, as I said on Tuesday,
you're going to carry him.
It's the value I've built up in him that it's easier to carry.
It's Robertson, Doherty and Shaw, which I'm happy with that. I have Richarlison, Sane, Son, Pogba and Salah across the middle, and then Josh King and Rashford up front. If I move away from Alonso and I downgrade him, and I've got a couple of million in the bank, 1.5 I think it is, then I could do something with Josh King because Liverpool away for Bournemouth is not the best.
Who's your subs?
First sub Alonso, second sub Wan-Bissaka, who've got West Ham at home, and then Isaac Success is my third sub. He's got a flag on him at the moment. But
yeah, same with me with Success. Yeah, third sub every week.
See, if I downgrade Alonso to somebody, then I'm going to be left with a big chunk of change in the bank like you have, and I don't really want to... 2 disadvantages. One, I don't have 2 transfers to make a move in the FA Cup gap, and I'll be leaving a lot of money on the table. So if I'm moving from Alonso, really, this game week, I should be moving to someone who I want to put straight into my starting lineup, and if I'm not, then I'll probably carry it over.
Fascinating to see what people are going to do with Chelsea City assets, obviously ahead of this week and then during 27.
What happens moving forward?
Because it's going to be some big name swing in prices, I think, over the next couple of weeks. If you think Alonso moves to people like Robertson, for example, but then they go to United in 27. So there might be others that will see investment who have been good scorers, like Doherty. I think I've maintained that I always thought 5.2 was the peak, but it's hit 5.3 now, and actually might keep going in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's answer some burning questions. Does Pep play FPL? Is that why he subbed Sané at 59 minutes? Many people have this conspiracy theory burning around now that Pep plays FPL and that's why he did it. Do you think Pep has time for FPL?
No.
Nah, definitely not.
Start with the bald insults as well. I mean, everyone calls him bald, don't they?
Yeah. You're like a better looking Pep. You're the Tottenham Pep.
The Tottenham Pep.
The Enfield Pep.
No, not really.
Nah. So let's have a look at some of the fixtures coming up this weekend. In terms of the big game, City-Chelsea is the one. I mean, City now top of the table, so the scoreboard pressure on Liverpool. But there are some interesting FPL kind of games where some points may be out to be had. The early kick-off, Fulham at home to United. So one thing we didn't talk about when we just highlight other teams, a couple of days ago when we recorded, no question, armband on Mo Salah, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not for me. I've moved the armband to Marcus Rashford away to Fulham. Because I'm 500,000 now, I don't want to make drastic changes or make drastic moves, but I do fancy the odd little punt. I mean, you'd fancy Marcus Rashford away to Fulham, right?
Yeah. My take on it for you would be, if you don't captain Salah this week, you ain't going to captain him in 27 either when they go to United. That's them 3 weeks in a row you haven't captained him.
Yeah, true. But I'm happy still owning him. I just think I want to find some differentials potentially, and I think Fulham away for United. If United are on form, they could bang in 3 or 4 if they're free-flowing football. So
essentially,
like
you want to take a gamble, don't you?
Yeah, but
which is understandable.
But I'm happy to take a 2-to-1 bet, not the fucking 10-to-1s yet.
I think, like I've said, there's weeks where I think to take those gambles. I don't really feel like this one is it.
You don't?
Not with them at home to Bournemouth. They've got to respond, haven't they? In the same way I thought last week Chelsea had to respond. But the crowd will be up for it. It's not going to be like, it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. They'll be right up for it. It's not going to be like your typical autumn, it's Bournemouth at home. It's going to be a lazy atmosphere. The Anfield crowd are going to know they need to be with the team and get behind them. So, yeah, I'll be with Salah 100%.
What's the news on Liverpool's injuries in terms of Wijnaldum and Captain
They're
Anderson?
all touch and go, I think.
Yeah, so that will have a big impact on what happens with their performance. I think they missed Wijnaldum and Henderson.
Bournemouth massively missed Wilson and Brooks at Cardiff. So we haven't got the updated. It's Thursday lunchtime. We haven't got the updated team news as yet. But if Wilson and Brooks are missing again, I'd be very comfortable with Liverpool defensive assets this weekend as well, I think.
Yeah. Arsenal away at Huddersfield. Aubameyang captain for a lot of people.
Will be, yeah. It's just the right time to go in on them.
On Arsenal?
Yeah. So with the Huddersfield now, and then obviously Europa, they actually play, I sort of classify the fixtures a little incorrectly on Tuesday's pod. So the Huddersfield, then they play the Europa League first leg, then obviously they're out the Cup, then they play the Europa League second leg, and then they play Southampton and then Bournemouth in the week. But the concern for me around Aubameyang swings around that second leg in Europe. Presumably he doesn't play Aubameyang, but if he does, then it's quick turnarounds. It's Southampton the Sunday, Bournemouth the Wednesday, and then Tottenham on the Saturday lunchtime, which is now confirmed at Wembley. So that would be a little concern. Well, we knew it was going to be at Wembley. Fucking shithole.
Your season's going to be at Wembley now, let's be fair.
Well, the fact that they've only announced the Arsenal game and not mentioned anything about the Crystal Palace game is giving me a little bit of hope. Yeah, a little bit.
Right. Sujin James is 50p.
Yeah, let's do that.
5 games. You're consistently getting 3 out of 5. I'm not allowing any of this handicap stuff now. We just need to win a little bit of money for this Chick King that we're going to go next week to.
You silly sausage. So can I have like anytime goal scorer or something like that?
No.
That's good for
I just want a home win, draw, and away win. Right?
Go.
Crystal Palace, West Ham.
Home win.
Ooh, you think so?
Yeah, it's not on the telly.
It's not on the telly. And up front, we're still lacking. I don't know who he's
You
going to
also
play
said
up
in
front.
Surgeon James's 50p, you'd never put West Ham or Spurs in it.
That's a good point. Scrap that. See, I don't like also putting in the top 6 teams because more often than not, you're going to go with the top 6 team. Right, okay, so Huddersfield, Arsenal. Watford, Everton. Watford at home to Everton. Everton are flaky at the moment.
Draw.
You're going to go with the draw?
Draw, yeah.
You think Marco Silva's going to be able to...
The interesting one for me on that week on the weekend is Richarlison, obviously.
Going back to his club.
I think he'll play.
You think he was rested or dropped?
Probably a little bit of both. I think Everton's team selection was actually a lot with Watford in mind, because then Richarlison and Sigurdsson left out, and obviously Coleman left out. There were a few others as well. So I think, not that he wrote off the game, but I think it was understandable to try and save a few legs and target the game they're more capable of winning. Although Watford have been really impressive this season. But Richarlison is the sort of character, you don't know how he'll respond, I don't think, yet. Whether he's going to respond in sort of the way, say, Arnautovic responded for West Ham at Stoke last year, or if, say, obviously he didn't play for them before, but Zaha reacted not in a progressive way when he went to Watford earlier in the season. And I'm not sure which way it will go for Richarlison. It could either spur him on to think, I'm going to show you how good I am, or he's the sort of dickhead who might lash out and be a prick about it. So I think you can go either way. I think if you've got no issues, I wouldn't advise against selling him this week. And I know a few people think, it's the old club syndrome, he could return. I haven't got a lot of confidence.
I don't know if
in
there
it.
is such the old club syndrome that much.
There's more made of it than there's reality.
Yeah, exactly. Southampton at home to Cardiff.
Home win.
Home win. City, Chelsea.
Home win.
And Wolves, Newcastle.
Home win just.
You don't think it's going to be as easy?
It's an interesting one. Looking forward to that Monday night. That Newcastle defend well, and Wolves have progressively been very good lately without the ball. Newcastle don't want it either, so that'll be a fascinating game Monday night. I wouldn't expect Wolves to batter them, for example. Different challenges for Wolves in the next few weeks, and as I said on Tuesday, they struggled with these sort of fixtures in the autumn, but I do think they've progressed since then.
Yeah. So we're going to Arsenal away win. We're going to Southampton, City and Wolves with home wins, and a draw in Watford, Everton.
No surprises.
I'm going to have a quick look on one of the betting sites, put 50p on it, and let's see what comes out. And the reason I'm not mentioning that betting site is because they're not paying us to sponsor the show. So,
but anytime now, if you're interested, DMs are open.
Fair,
Don't you want the Betway sponsored Surgeon James 50p?
That's a really good idea, actually. I might write to Karen Brady and say you got contacts there at Betway, because they want to sponsor everything as it stands at the moment. Man of the match, every Tannoy announcement. They could do our show.
If West Ham sponsored this podcast, I quit.
West Ham wouldn't. Betway.
That's all right. I ain't got a problem with Betway,
I want Betway in there. So that's the 50p.
Listeners, can you tell that we are fishing for sponsorship? Like, honestly.
Yeah. I think we are now, but we'll be quite choosy. Should we get in some Twitter questions?
Twitter cues, let's wrap them up. It's going to be a shorter pod, as we said.
I have no idea how long we've been chatting for, but we do have a man and a child that's been smashed into one behind the camera. So if you can use your fingers, because I don't want to hear your voice. How long have we been chatting for? 30
minutes. Touch and go. Maybe up or down.
Right, okay. We're going to do 15 minutes of Twitter questions. This is our professional.
We said we'd cover them all, so let's make these really quick, mate.
Fuck, there's been a million, man.
I told you, let's go.
Right, okay. Probably not hurt to mention chip strategies for those who have failed with a triple captain, those who have it on Aguero now, and those still to use any chips. That was a couple of days ago. For example, I'm feeling better about using some of Aguero gains from triple captain to offset any hits I might need to get me through 27 to 31, and still go ahead with free hit 32, wildcard 34, bench boost 35. But if failed with triple captain, then there'll be some with kind of less leeway. I see triple captain as standalone. So whatever my chip strategy for the rest was, carry on as is.
Yeah, it's an interesting, interesting concept. The idea of, I got more points than I expected. I should now feel comfortable taking hits. I wouldn't look at it that way. I'd look at each move as its own individual. Yes, it's nice to have the excess points, but I don't think that necessarily means you should start tearing things up. It will probably justify your moves a little bit more because you think, oh, okay, I'll take this -8 because I didn't expect the 50 odd points from Aguero. But it's brand new week. It's new game.
Yeah, true. We've got a question coming in here, which I have the question in front of me. I'd lost the person that asked it. Red sauce or brown sauce?
Oh, red all day long.
Ketchup.
Yeah, because we are south of Watford Gap.
Southerners. So we're into the red sauce. I'm a red sauce person. That was coming in from FPL Ninja. I'm a red sauce person, but I think 1 in 10, I like to.
What was FPL Ninja's answer?
He said got to be the latter, which is brown sauce.
Oh, right. So we know he's north of Watford Gap.
Probably,
oh,
yeah.
Right, fair enough.
I'm a red sauce guy, but 1 in 10, I don't mind dabbling a bit on the old brown sauce.
No, I wouldn't go near it, mate.
Yeah. Right. Dragon Ball P, Pablo Riddler on Twitter. Do you think Mane is being overlooked a bit? A lot of talk about Salah, but seems to be little about Sadio Mane, and surprised me to see Sadio Mane is the 4th highest scoring midfielder in the game. Only 3 points behind Mo Salah over the past 4 game weeks, and scored in the last 3 games. There was a pod a few weeks ago when I got rid of Sadio Mane, probably about 4 weeks ago now, where prior to that, his record was awful. He's the highest scoring, 4th highest scoring midfielder because of his returns in the first 5.
Are you taking the credit for Mane's goals, basically?
Exactly. When I sold him, he suddenly started returning, and he's inconsistent. I know the last 3 or 4 game weeks look good, but he's inconsistent, man. I think Liverpool are gonna not be as free flowing as they have been at the start of the season in the next few game weeks because it's gonna be nervy, right? With City breathing down their neck, they have to win these games. They've got some tough games as well. United isn't going to be easy. So I don't think Sadio Mane is in my thoughts. Is he being overlooked?
I would say yes, he probably is being overlooked. I think points per million value, Mane's now ahead of Salah. I'm sure I saw that the other night.
Oh, points per million, of course, but I mean, it's
but then if
difficult.
But if he's better value, and then you've got 4 million to have a Lacazette rather than Ashley Barnes, that's the sort of difference you're talking about, isn't it? So, yeah, is he being overlooked? Yes, possibly. I think he's the sort of player you never feel comfortable captaining.
Yeah,
I would say, and that puts me off because of his price range, because he's kind of touching and close to 10. He's not in my thoughts at the moment, but I can understand the theory of him being overlooked. Yes, I won't argue that.
Is my cap playing? Given Salah and Liverpool's lack of form, is there a case to get creative with captain picks this week? Aubameyang, Rashford, or Jimenez? Well, so this is a situation where you're a Salah owner and you have the others, and you're of the opinion that you've got to stick with Salah.
No, I'm not of the opinion you've got to.
Okay.
I just personally don't feel like it's the week to be going out. I think for me and my team to have gone Hazard next week, to know that I'm going to captain almost definitely either Son or Aubameyang in 27.
Yeah.
If I don't captain him this week, I'd go Aubameyang, definitely. It will most likely be my vice if I buy him. That would mean 3 weeks without captaining Salah. I can't therefore then justify even having him in my squad, I don't think. If I can't captain him at home to Bournemouth, I should sell him.
Yeah, interesting thought, interesting process. FPL _Otter. Morning, boys. It's lunchtime now. I'm starting to get hungry as well, you know.
McDonald's.
No. We've done it already this week. No, not doing McDonald's.
As your marathon training.
Going well. I've got to knock out another 16 kilometres this weekend. What was that about? Food.
Man, for the podcast listeners, Manchild's giving us sign language.
You want McDonald's? Yeah,
all right, he wants McDonald's.
No, it's not happening.
Go and buy it. I'll eat it.
Yeah, morning, boys. Wanted to save my free hit for later blanks, but somehow I've ended up with De Bruyne, Silva, Ederson, Hazard, and Higuain.
Oh, Jesus.
Blank in 27 for both and nowhere near enough time to move him around without taking huge hits. Should I be using my free hit chip here? I have all my chips remaining.
No.
Don't use a free hit.
No, get yourself in a position where you can get rid of 2 or take a hit and leave 2 or 3 on the bench in 27.
I'm with you on that as well.
That would be my advice.
And the reason...
so he's got 5. He hasn't got any Everton. Or do we not know?
No, that's all he's highlighted. Because it's not far before we then get into 31 in terms of blanks. And City and Chelsea have blanks in the blank game weeks for the FA Cup as it stands right now anyway. If City don't have the toughest draw, but if Chelsea lose to United, Higuain and Hazard are available through the blanks, you're not going to want to sell them necessarily. You're happy to kind of carry them through. So what you do with those assets kind of longer term depends on what happens in the FA Cup. So I don't know. That makes me
could as well as Edison's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in theory, if you get a replacement goalkeeper, Boric or something to tie you over, not ideal with them away to Liverpool this weekend. But you could do it now and hope he plays the fixture in 27. And then in theory, actually you can leave 4 on the bench, can't you? In 27.
Yeah.
It's because Edison is 1, it's not as bad as it sounds.
Yeah. FPL Piglet. It's quite apt because it's Chinese Year of the Pig now. Did you see that a couple of days ago?
Oh, is it?
Chinese Year of the Pig.
I should have known that because I was a pig and I still am.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Mane or Trent Alexander-Arnold stroke VVD as the third Liverpool asset? Liverpool attacking or Liverpool defence?
Alexander-Arnold when he's fit.
Yeah, we don't know when that's going to be though.
Targeting 28 or 29 for me. Or 30. Don't know. But before 31 anyway, I'm sure I will get, as long as he's fit, I'll get Alexander-Arnold. I would have thought, as long as I do end up selling for me.
Yeah. Jimmy Cook at Jimmy Cook 84. James, he wants to know. He went from Aubameyang to Aguero for game week 25. Not a bad move.
Well done.
With the plan to switch back for game week 26. Stick to the plan or stick to Aguero?
Stick to the plan.
I agree. Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan. Take your 0.2 or whatever you've made on it. Flog it back off.
Yeah.
Get Aubameyang back in. Because as well, obviously, there's no reason to believe that Aguero would be dropped on Sunday, but he has started 2 in a row. And that makes you nervous.
Yeah.
City only made 2 changes from Wednesday from Sunday. It's surprising, and yet it feels like everybody's been stitched up.
We've got FPL Hacksaw who has tweeted in a question and a screen grab of their team. So FPL Hacksaw, I'm not going to answer it now on the show because people can't see your team. But he did start his question. Long-time listener, first-time questioner.
Hey.
Give him a little shout out there. But we will look at your team. He's thinking of ditching Alisson and going to a budget keeper. So we'll have a look at the other. It kind of so dependent on the rest of it.
Wouldn't ditch Alisson this week.
Nah, not this week maybe. Right, Wilson NG is a common surname, but I'm not really too sure on the pronunciation. I'm just going to go with
Are you
Wilson, Wilson, change your Twitter handle. What a ridiculous Twitter handle.
What's the Twitter handle?
At Arsenal_champ. It's a bit out of date, isn't it, really?
Yeah, well, maybe he's been on Twitter for a very, very long time.
That was a while ago. Hey, James.
Hi.
I've picked this question specifically for you. I love it. Even just reading it to myself brought a smile to my face. I really want to know, how do you involve your wife into FPL? I want my wife to play FPL as well, rather than just not letting me watch Premier League games.
On Sunday,
so
when Aguero scored the second, she made no noise, stood up and started doing the winding dance, making no noise, because she triple captained Aguero, didn't she?
Yeah, of course.
Lucky bitch.
What happened at the third goal?
I can't remember. I probably just blanked her by that point. I wasn't looking.
Yeah.
Well done, wife. Well, congratulations. How did she get into FPL? I'm not sure. I think probably more through work than through me, because we've both played, obviously. She's played before we'd started the podcast, so I don't think it's not a podcast influence as such. But I would have thought through work, and I think after that result, she's doing quite well. I think she jumped about 500,000-600,000 places.
She's well above me.
She got about 112 this week.
Wow.
Yeah,
quite a few
fucking
Centurions.
smashed it.
Quite a few Centurions.
She's got
this
like
week.
David Luiz as well and that.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, we're recording.
We got a visitor. You're on the podcast.
That means don't come in.
It's always fun and games with Planet FPL. Anyway, you can find my wife at Planet FPL Wifey.
Yeah. On the old Twitter.
She'll love it.
Yeah. You're gonna what? Check that it's recorded.
Yeah, nothing else stepped on.
Yeah, fine. You can cut that out if you want. Right, another question.
Go.
We answered this the other day. Thoughts on Pascal Gross?
Yeah.
Watch list.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
We did detail Pascal Gross Tuesday. Consider from 28. Obviously, just importantly, briefly, obviously Brighton went through in the cup last night and Wolves did on Tuesday night. So
As expected.
Yeah, 2 goals for Matt Doherty. So no changes to the blank double game week picture as yet.
Question from Ola at Leirenberg on Twitter. When to use triple captain? Basically, in a week where your player is going to play more than 59 minutes, and if they've got double game week, when they're going to play both. So the general consensus here now is TC lean towards a striker over a midfielder.
No, not necessarily. No, I just think in hindsight, and it is all hindsight, I just think in hindsight, Sane is not the sort of player that's going to get 3 goals in 2 games. Normally. He's capable, but he's not. Whereas, we've said it so many times about Aguero. On any given week, he'll fucking tear it up. And I think the same applies to Sterling, Salah, Hazard, and to a lesser extent, Heung-min Son a little bit.
Yeah. Let's wait and see. Flicking down, some of these we answered the other week. Double Liverpool defence, all that kind of stuff. Felipe Anderson. We've spoken about Felipe Anderson. If he's on the telly, you have him. And if he's not, you don't.
I'm thinking about getting him back in, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I look at that fixture I looked at it a bit more, your run coming up. So you go to City in 28, don't you?
Yeah, we've got Fulham in 27. Fulham at home in 27.
But the fixtures, the home fixtures particularly between 27 and 31, you've got 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
And the home fixtures are nice, aren't they? Was it Fulham, Newcastle and Huddersfield, isn't it?
I tell you what, if you're thinking about Felipe Anderson, hold tight. They're doing a thing, not next week, the week after is half term week, and they're doing a thing down at the club shop. Come and meet Felipe Anderson, Issa Diop, and I think Adrian's the 3rd player that's going to be there. So when I'm going to go down and take the boys down, I'll ask him, why the fuck do you only play well when the games are on TV?
Is it a meet or greet or wave goodbye?
Yeah, meet and greet. Because Marco's not going to be
there.
Because
all those 3 players could be off in the summer, couldn't they?
I don't think Anderson will go. I don't think he's good enough that someone from the top 6 would want to pay more than we paid for him to have him. Issa Diop, it could be. Adrian's not getting in the team, so it wouldn't surprise me if he left. I'll ask him I've got 2 questions for you, Felipe. Why do you only play well when it's on the telly? And why do you have to do everything with a little trick or a flick? Just pass it simple, mate.
Can you use your favourite word, cojones? I don't think you'd do it.
What, with Felipe?
Yeah, you wouldn't ask him that.
Depends. If he's taller than me, then I might not. I'll get one of our boys to ask. Even better, because my youngest son's 5 and he's shameless. He doesn't give a shit.
Felipe,
he's still too
why
young.
do you only play well on the telly?
Yeah. But he'll probably call him Philip.
Philip.
Because he won't be able to get the name. And he'll be like, yeah. And I'll take my wife along and ask him, what conditioner do you use? Because his hair's quite,
Is it?
It's quite nice.
I've never noticed, mate. I don't look past the gorgeous looks of Mr. Toilet Fernando Llorente, obviously.
The Alfa Romeo.
Have you seen that Sauber of the F1 team have renamed
Sauber?
Yeah, them.
Okay, yeah. Sauber.
They've rebranded as Alfa Romeo.
Have they?
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't see
that.
The
Fernando Llorente of F1 teams.
I'm not a big F1 follower. Like, I'll watch it, but I'm not really that crazy.
You watch the first turn and then turn it off.
And then you know who's going to win from there.
Next.
We'll ask this question. Benjamin J. Miller. Do Spurs believe they are in the title race?
Oh, we did
Players,
this on
fans,
Tuesday.
Yeah.
No.
I think 10%. You're at 5%. I'm at 10%.
I'm at 1%, mate. 1%. I'm now at 0.5 after City won last night. So, no, I don't believe we've got a chance, unfortunately.
Who's the top player back in the day who'd be electric in FPL and at what price? For me, it's certainly Ruud van Nistelrooy, 11 million. Tim Cahill 5.5, Letitia 9.5.
Bale.
Gareth Bale, what was he priced at? I don't remember.
Don't know. I've not played for long enough to
know.
remember having what price Bale would have been. But I'm sure for that last season he was shocking, and in most people's teams I would have thought in terms of price. You love it when the cheap ones come through, don't you? Like the Vardy Mahrez year. He was in everybody's team, wasn't he? They had to be.
Yeah.
Harry Kane, when he broke through at sort of 5 million. Joke.
That's it, mate. We've been through all the Twitter questions.
Oh, is it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to use this iPad thing now, and technology and me are quite good. I'm pretty.
You're not having
with it. But most of these questions are the same that we had the other day, and we've covered. So I think we're pretty much through all the Twitter questions.
All right. It's been emotional.
2 days to go till game week 26. Like I said, I'd love to roll my transfer into game week 27 and have two, but you raise a good point. If I do captain Rashford, what's the point in keeping Salah? But I'm going to keep Salah at home.
It's different for you in your position with your rank.
What, 500,000?
Yeah.
And something. If Alonso's on his way out and I'm going to replace him with someone who's going to play this week, then I do need to make a couple of tweaks. Alonso, Richarlison were on the chopping block prior to this game week. They're still on the chopping block.
The key for you in your position at your rank is look at it and consider, can you do without Salah in 31? So can you go through alternatives? Let's assume we got the same 4 blanks we got now. You're going to want to captain a Liverpool player at Fulham. They'll be the only top 6 sides playing. But there are alternatives. You could look at, say, Arnautovic, Anderson at home to Huddersfield.
Yeah.
So I would look at that and think, can I get around it and look at alternatives? Can I go Robertson, Firmino and Alexander-Arnold or something? Plus, I don't know, Fabianski, Anderson, Arnautovic. That's the making of a good 31 team there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the way my midfield is, the way my team is set up at the moment is heavy on midfield and a bit lighter on attack. Rashford is a £7.5, £8 million player playing like a £10 million player. So he's going nowhere, right, for anybody's team. So it's my second striker, Josh King, who is prone to move out. But I've got Son, Pogba, Sané and Salah as a power 4 midfield. So if I downgraded Salah, and I wouldn't downgrade him to a £6 million player, maybe somewhere around £8, £9 million player, it's a question of then taking Josh King up. So do I want to go with 4 heavy midfielders and 1.5 strikers, or 4 midfielders losing Salah and Aubameyang? And if I do lose Salah, I have to look at my captaincy throughout the game weeks that are going on. But I don't know like where I'd go with from Mo Salah. Hazard, you can't look at really with not with the fixtures, but the blank coming up. Sterling, I've already got Sané.
A little bit like what you said the other day. I can't wait to get through that FA Cup weekend and see where we're at. It's going to be really important. And then as soon as that's done, we will be straight into confirming.
I tell you what,
Chip Strategy Pod,
I tell you what, from an FPL point of view, every game week where I've not been 100% sure, so I've gone on and done nothing, has never been a bad turnout. More often than not, when you make a move and you're not 100% sure, it doesn't pay off well. So I'm in that situation. Look, I'm happy with my 11 that are going to be out, and I've got Wan-Bissaka at home to West Ham and Alonso on the bench. So I don't need to make a move.
No, you don't need to force it. I think.
So why bother?
I'd just be so concerned that Sané's not going to play this weekend, mate.
If he doesn't, Alonso comes in.
Yeah, but he comes on for another 1 pointer, mate.
True. Or I could put Wan-Bissaka as you think Wan-Bissaka is going to. You think Wan-Bissaka is West Chelsea Palace are going to.
Yeah, but I think it's a London derby that could go either way.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything more to add?
No. Good luck, everyone. If you captain Leroy Sane, you didn't do the bad thing. Shit happens.
Sometimes it's a horse shit.
I really wanted him to. I know I'd take the piss and insult you. I really was hoping he'd put it out the bag for you last night and get you something. But then obviously when he was taken off, I fell over laughing, mate.
So did I.
You can't do anything else. As I said, you can't do nothing
but
else.
as did the whole entire community. It was very funny.
There were some very, very, very good FPL players who triple captain Leroy Sane.
Yeah, I mean
it happens.
There we go. Other than that, enjoy your game week 26. Do make sure you make your transfers. It's the early kickoffs, Fulham, Manchester United. So it's an 11:30 Saturday deadline. Do share the show with as many friends as you can. If you do regularly listen on iTunes or SoundCloud or what have you, head over to YouTube, type in Planet FPL. We do have a channel there which has got nothing on it other than this episode, which is our first
is it actually going to be set up, Suj? Because I never trust these things.
I'm pointing my finger at a certain child that looks like a man. Or is he a man that looks like a child? Man-child, the producer, is going to be on it, mate. I do hope you enjoy it. Leave your comments, questions, all the rest of it coming back. When are we recording, mate?
Monday night football's Wolves Newcastle, so we will be back on Tuesday.
Tuesday, the whatever it is. We may give it a little gap because after that we've got a gap of FPL, so there's no urgency in making moves straight after this game week. Definitely don't make your transfers as soon as the bell rings that you can, because you've got FA Cup in between and injuries could... Unless
you've got two and you absolutely know. But yeah, that's a very good point you make. I think...
We've got a bit of time next week.
Suffer, as I said on the previous pods recently, at the moment suffer the loss in value. It will be what it will be. Now is about points. Hopefully you should have already built up value that you can do things for the free hits and the doubles, etc.
And on that note, ciao for now.
Cue music, man, ciao. Good luck, everyone.
The Fantasy Football Show.